Grand Rising, my peoples. Grand Rising, my peoples. Trying to keep this sound clear. Up out of here. Grand Rising, my peoples. Grand Rising. I don't know who just came on, but Grand Rising. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. My people. Get a little airflow going through here. Okay. Well, Grand Rising, my people. I know I ain't been on here in about a week, maybe a week and a half or so, man. I just been thinking and, you know, just going back down memory lane on some things, not just about Junior, but I've been, Morningstar. I've been just thinking about a whole lot of stuff overall. See, remember back when I was doing my older videos, I was telling y'all, I would say, you know, you have to pay attention to the stuff that's around you, because once this right here happened, it like unlocked some stuff in you that you didn't really know that was there. It really caused you to like zero in and focus in and pay attention to some stuff, right? And so that's what was happening to me. I started zeroing in. I started paying attention to stuff, man. And I'm telling you, man, listen, at this point, it's just like, I just don't have it anymore. You know, in terms of, see, certain people, it's people that know me, and they know how I move. They know, you know, they know how vibrant I can be at times and stuff. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't think that right there part is coming back anytime soon, for those that haven't noticed it. It's like the more and more I sit back and I think about it, because like I said, after I lost Junior, it was a point in time where it was like I was forced to sit down, like on some quiet, humble type stuff. Like I was like spiritually or something, like I had to sit down because I couldn't move. I ain't had the energy literally to do anything. And like I said, I felt like I was just strapped down, even though there was nothing holding me down. There was nothing but me holding me down. So, yeah. In that process of me being strapped down and held down mentally, you had a whole lot of time to think. And I'm telling you, man, when you start thinking and you start looking back at some, for me, I'm going to keep it with me. When I started thinking back on Junior, for instance, see, it was things that I recognized that I didn't do right earlier on with my first set of kids, who are now adults now. And I really tried my best to clean that up. I really did. I really tried my best to clean that up. I tried my best to clean that up when it came down to the second set of kids that I had. And when it came down to Junior and my daughter, like those two right there, I really tried to clean some stuff up with when it came down to them. So especially with Junior, because you know, that was my boy and that was my Junior, man. And so I really poured a lot. I switched up a lot. I stopped moving a certain way, you know, for the purposes of Junior and my youngest child. Man, I put so much inside of that boy, it ain't funny, because your biggest investment that you're going to have is going to be in your children. You invest in your children, that's going to be your biggest investment. If you invest in your children right, then you can get a return on that, right? Unfortunately for me, I didn't get that return, and I'm not going to get that return. And that right there been balling me up, because I put a lot inside that boy, and I'm not even going to get a return on that. I'm not going to get a return. That boy didn't make it to 8 years old. I'm not going to get a return on the investment that I put inside that boy. And I ain't talking about monetary. I'm just talking about just him seeing how a man move. You know what I'm saying? Like, just him being like, he and his youngest sister, for sure, I knew loved me unconditionally. You understand? I know this right here. And I was speaking the other day ago, and I was actually speaking to my mother, for real. And I spoke to a couple more other people about it as well. And I said, man, listen, in this world, at one point in time, I had at least 4 people that I knew loved me unconditionally, no matter what. I'm down to 1. Which is my youngest daughter, that I know love me unconditionally, flaws and all. Now, when I start looking back at it from that angle, in terms of my return on investment, I start to really see that, wait a minute, I got a lot of investments that I've put my hands into that I've gotten no return on. And I probably won't get them. I probably won't get a return on them. See, let me tell you something. At this point right here, for people like myself, I'm trying to build my energy. I got to get my energy back up. I'm not going to cut no corners. My energy got to come back up, because when I lost my son, man, that took a really big blow. That took a huge chunk out of me. That took a chunk. And to rebuild that right there, you need all the energy you can get. Once upon a time, I didn't realize how much energy I was putting out to other people. And it's just with me sitting down, having to sit down and really think about this stuff right here, is what got me to thinking and seeing that I was putting out too much energy and I wasn't getting no return on it. You know what I mean? See, at one point in time, I was the guy that you called when you needed to move. That's right. When you needed to move something, I was the guy you called, because you knew I had the connections, you knew I had the manpower, and I got stuff done. Right? That's right. When it was yard work need to be done, I was the man that you called, because you know that the job was going to get done right. Right? When it was anything that needed to be done, okay, who needs somewhere to stay? Come on through. I got you. See, me, my problem was when I sit back and I think about it, was every time I listen to somebody else's issues and somebody else's problem, here I am going on, throwing on my super cape, and I'm trying to go and help them out. I get them out they slump. And at that time, at some point, you say, hey, wait a minute. If this was me in that situation, would I have gotten the same return from the same person? For the people that you've let stay with you at some point in time, when y'all if that person was really getting their stuff together and that's what they really came to do, and they were leaving on their own, guess what? Y'all will be okay. But you help somebody. That's what happened. You help somebody and you let them come in. You let them move in. And before you know it, y'all got into it. And then guess what happened? They left with an attitude, and you were the one helping. You were the one footing the bill. All the energy came from you. It was coming from you. Time you stopped it, the other person got the attitude. You figured out exactly who they was. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not going to get a return on that. You're not going to get no return on that right there, because the way they left your house. But yet and still, for months and months and weeks and maybe even sometimes years, they done been eating off of you. Now, when they leave your house, you cannot get that right there in return if you need it. Should you be in that situation? Should you fall down and you go back and you look at that stuff and you say, man, I spent a lot of energy on that, a lot of time. And what was the return on that? See, that's the reason why you ain't gonna get what you used to get out of me, because I'm not getting a return. At one point in time, I didn't care about the return. I just, hey, long as it helped somebody, hey, I was cool. I was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But after losing my son, I don't have that energy to give no more. I'm telling you, after losing my son, I don't have that energy to give no more. No, I don't want to raise my hand to volunteer to do anything anymore. Okay. I'm going to be like everybody else. Just like I told my moms and my sister and everybody else. Hey, listen, I want to be like everybody else now. When the party start, I want to show up like everybody else. When the party is over with, I don't want to clean up nothing like everybody else. I want to leave early and I want to get up out of there. I don't want to make sure that everything is all settled and all that other stuff. I don't want to come and set nothing up. I don't have the energy to do that stuff, and people don't understand that. It's people right now that will still call me and try to gossip to me about somebody else's business or and stuff like that. I don't have the energy for that, okay? I don't have the energy to listen to that type of stuff, okay? I'm still trying to build my energy back up. There's people that will call me. I understand people have issues and people like, hey, they vent to people. I get it. Sometimes you need somebody to vent to. I get it. But at this point, I'm not the one to call and vent to if it ain't going to be something that's based in some type of solution. I'm not here. You don't have my ear like that no more. I can't do that stuff no more. The stuff that I used to, that I would sit around and listen to and try to be of some type of help, some type of solution and all that other stuff too. That just, hey, can't get that from me no more. I told y'all, listen, when I lost my son, I told y'all, man, it was a part of me that you wasn't going to never get back. And I didn't know that was going to happen. It was just felt like something that I was spiritually forced into. You know what I'm saying? After losing my son, it's just parts of me that you just not going to get back. It's parts of me that I'm not going to get back. And me caring and running for everybody else, being everybody else's go-to and first person to call and all that's first thing that's cut out. That's going to be the first thing cut out. You want me to do something for you? Tell me what I'm getting in return out this right here. Because when I was doing it for free, or when I was doing it out the kindness of my heart, I was paid in pizza. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a thank you here and there. You know what I'm saying? You might throw me $20 because we family, right? We family, you know, but then I turn around, I lose my son, and it's a bunch of those people that I've helped that didn't even show. You know what I'm saying? So now here we is damn near 11 months in, and I did a lot of work. I don't know how that looked from the outside looking in, but at least for me, I know I put in a lot of work on myself between the time I lost my son to where we at now. So for y'all that ain't been around in all that time and stuff like that, you still got this little thing about you that makes you feel that I'm still laying all the way down here on this realm of my son passing when I done did work, and I'm actually elevating myself. I'm actually elevating myself in some type of way. You come around with the energy like I'm just down and I'm not even in that place. I'm not even in that place, but you would know that if you was messing with me like that. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't say nothing. So if you done been away like that and you know that you haven't been consistently messing with me like that, hey, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. I'm not mad at you. No, I'm not mad at you. But I'm going to tell you this right here. I do know who have been there. I do know who have been there, for sure, who have been there. That's right. See, all my favors and all that stuff that I was doing, the good version of me, all that stuff is limited now. And it's limited amongst me and my siblings. That's right. And that is limited to me and some of my siblings. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have that kind of energy anymore to entertain none of the fuckery. I don't have it anymore. At one point in time, it's like after I lost my son, man, I'm telling you, I lost interest on a whole lot of that stuff. I'm not lying. After I lost Junior, I lost interest, I lost interest in a lot of stuff. And I started to see a lot of stuff. And some of the stuff that I lost interest in was probably for my better. I didn't see none of this stuff when my son was here. I didn't see, it was like I was blinded to, after my son left here, man, look, it don't even feel like I even belong here no more. It don't even feel like I even belong here no more. Every day I wake up, I be wondering how in the world am I even waking up? I don't even belong here. Real talk. Because everything just started to look different and you start to see stuff for what it was, not what it was supposed to be. I promise you. When you put on them different set of eyes, baby, that you can't look back out the other set of eyes, even if you wanted to, them ain't even gonna look the same no more. I'm telling you, that shit, man, it took a chunk out of me. And then my daughter's birthday come around. It was so much love over here for her that I don't even think that she probably did, but it didn't look like she really, thought about Junior at the time. And I'm not saying that's a good thing or bad thing, because she was enjoying herself and that's all that mattered. But for me, I'm waiting on the boy to come around. I'm waiting on the boy to turn the lights back on. It's like, no matter how much you try to think, man, it's like, no matter how much you try to get over, once you get in that good spot, it feel like they right there, man. It feel like they right there. You know what I mean? And then right when you go to tell them to do something or make a move or something, you have to remember, like I done caught myself a couple of times from having to say his name because I'm about to say, Junior, get this. And it just hit me. You know what I'm saying? That shit right there is where you need your energy and your strength at right there, man. You ain't got time to be listening to nobody gossip on the phone about somebody else's business. Tell me about your business. You want to talk about somebody's business? Tell me about yours. I don't have room for that stuff no more, man. Look, you got 2 minutes. I get on that phone. You got 2 minutes, Jack. For sure. You got 2 minutes. And if you ain't hit your talking points within them 2 minutes, hey, somebody calling me. Or I'm going to call you back. It's going to be something like that. I don't have that kind of time. If what you're talking about is worth the ear, you get more than 2 minutes. But in some cases, I'm going to cut them 2 minutes down to 30 seconds. I'm telling you, man, because I don't have the energy for that, man. I did a lot of stuff for a lot of people, and I ain't never threw nothing up in nobody's face. I ain't called no names, and I ain't gonna call no names. I just know the stuff that I did, and I never said nothing, or I never threw nothing up in nobody's face or nothing like that right there, because I did it out the kindness of my heart. I did it because I wanted to do it. I did it because you needed the help and stuff like that. But had I have known back then while I was doing that I was actually being taken advantage of, instead of, hey, it'd have been a different story. But now you see the ones that take advantage of you, because when you stop, you see how they switch up on you. You will see the switch up. You gonna feel the switch up. You know, you just sit back and you watch who really supporting you, who really got your back. You know what I'm saying? When you done actually put in and put up, who really got you? You know what I'm saying? Who really got your back like that right there, you know? Because some people, look, believe it or not, some people that just don't get it. And then some people would think just because you moving and you moving without the sight of grief, they think that you just all right. You see what I'm saying? Man, listen, this stuff right here would keep you away from people. It would keep you away from people. Again, not because you're angry. You ain't got to be angry. You're not mad at nobody. You just need to think, man. You need to think. You need to get your energy together. Your energy ain't right. Your energy is everywhere. It's everywhere. You ain't thinking about nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like literally thinking about nothing. Your mind is everywhere. Okay? It's scrambled. Your mind need a system reboot. It's like y'all shut all this stuff down and restart it. Okay? You don't have room for that stuff no more. And some people gonna notice it. That's right. Some people gonna notice it. Some ain't. And guess what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm telling you, man, after I lost my son, listen, it was whatever after that for me. From in here, it was whatever after that, man. Shoot, you come grab me too while you at it. That's the way I felt about it. You couldn't have told me that I'd have lived this long after my son. I did not see myself almost 11 months down the line. We almost 11 months in. I didn't see 11 months down the line at that time. I did not see 11 months down the line at that time. I didn't. And in those 11 months, it done been some stuff, boy. It done been some stuff, Jack, that really, really have, had some work put into. But this time now, I'm only putting in work on something that I'm going to get a return out of. Because if I ain't getting no return out of it, guess what? You going to get bare minimum. You going to get just enough. I'm going to give you, that's the way it is from now on. From every time, when I look back and I seen all the people that I've helped, I've did more helping than I've gotten in return. That's right. I did more helping other people than what I've gotten in return. That's right. And because of that right there, now I have to get something back in return. So moving forward, when I help somebody, I got to know what I'm getting in return. And it's just going to be flat out just like that. Some of y'all might not like this version of Rome. Some of y'all might not like this version of me. I no longer have the room for I don't no longer have the room to just jump in and help nobody. I just don't. Not like that. Not just willy-nilly. And at the end of the day, only thing you can say is thank you and all this other stuff. Those days are done. Those days are done. When I had the energy, when I had the time, when I wanted to do certain things, guess what? It wasn't available. It wasn't available. Some of the same stuff now isn't even available. I got people I'm talking about that I've helped out for years. For years. Oh, you understand me? For years. And then when it came down, guess what? My name ain't on none of they stuff. My name ain't on none of they stuff. I wasn't the first priority to think about when something of value was to be issued. I wasn't the face of none of that stuff. I was only the face of strength. When you need something need to be moved. You know what I'm saying? You need some type of solution. I was only some type of solution based to a lot of people out there. And I'm telling you, I started to see this. Only thing it took for me to do is sit down long enough to think about it, because as it was going on, I wasn't thinking about none of this stuff right here. I was just trying to be a good person. I was just trying to be the person that I was. You know what I'm saying? And in that process for letting that stuff go on for so long, you drain yourself. You lose who you thought you was. In that process, you could do that. You could start to lose a grip on who you was, because you have lost so much energy in helping out other people and not thinking about it at the time. And when you sit back and you think about that stuff, and you think about how much energy that you done put inside somebody, your family, your friends, your relationship, your job, anything, and you look at the amount of return that you would get on it should you go into a slump. When you go into a slump and you look at all the work that you done put in, and then you turn around and you fall into a slump. As much work as I put in with many people, I'm on the 11-month slump. I'm on the 11-month slump. Okay? Guess what? I should have had enough returns to cover that without me having to worry about it. Just from the dues of what I've done and helped out for other people. And the thing about it is I didn't ever even look for nothing in return. That's probably why I didn't get it, because I wasn't never even looking for nothing in return. I was just doing it just out the well-being of my heart. But then I go back and it's like the strength that it takes to build myself back up to where I was by myself. If I took and calculated up all that energy that I put into other people, helping other people get out of their slump, and then turn around and realize that while I'm doing this, once I get in a slump, they ain't going to be in no position to help me up out my slump if I'm helping them up out theirs. Yeah. You think about that kind of stuff. See, I didn't get a return with Junior, and I put in a lot. A lot. That was my best shot that you, with Junior was here. That was one of my best shots that I had. You know, it's kind of like working on a project. You know, you working on a project, you put everything into this because you know this is your masterpiece. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Like this right here is your masterpiece. Okay? You working on this thing day in, day out. Okay? You putting everything that you got into it. Everything. You doing everything that you can do to protect it. Everything. I'm talking about everything. And then one day you come in and somebody done just broke in, took the masterpiece, trashed it, everything. Everything that you put, feel like your life savings into. And then it's just gone. And then you want to come around with other people's gossip and other people's issues, probably even some of your own issues that don't relate to nothing that I'm going through. And no, I'm not allowing you to take my energy like that. You don't get my energy like that. See, and that's what you recognize when you sit down long enough and think about this stuff. You done lost a child, especially if you done lost a child, and a young child at that right there. That right there is probably what you want to, pay attention to, how much energy you done lost, because after losing a child, you lose a very tremendous amount of energy. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to do nothing. And to be honest, only thing you hearing is sound around you. You don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. And you don't feel nothing. You don't feel nothing. The best feeling you're going to get is grief. At that point. For me, at least for me. You don't have the energy for that crap no more. At 40 plus for me, no, I don't have the energy for that no more. I don't have the energy to volunteer to help somebody move. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the energy to volunteer to come and bring the trailer and let's go out to the no. I don't have the energy for that. I don't have the energy. You know you owe me. If you owe me, I ain't got the energy to pick up the phone and tell you, hey, when you gonna pay me this right here? Or when you gonna pay me that? I ain't got the energy for it. You know you owe me. You don't pay me. I just bought you. That's where we at. And we gonna make that deal one time and one time only. We ain't about to go back through it. You know what we talked about? That's about to be that. That's where I'm going with this right here. Or I'm gonna just buy you out. I'm just gonna buy you out. There is no more loaning out anything that I cannot afford to walk away from. My auntie taught me that. Thank you, auntie. She know who she is too. If she see in this video, she know who she is too. Don't never loan out nothing that you cannot afford to walk away from. Cool. Oh yeah. Some people is not gonna like this version of me, but it wasn't something that I planned on. It's just something that happened, man. It's just something that happened because it was stuff that I just honestly was not seeing, that I honestly see now. I really do. I really see it now. And me being quiet long enough and listening to other people, you can see theirs. You can see where they look get down and they whole structural setup. See, let me tell you something. Just because you speaking, that don't mean that that's the only way that people can read you. You thinking just if you watch what you say, people can't read you. No. When I look at anybody, and I'm telling y'all this right here, I could tell you this and you still won't even recognize. You still won't even know. Look, I could look at you, okay? I could look at the way you move. I could look at the way you talk, the way you walk. I could listen to the tone of your voice. The whole essence, the whole everything about you is not just what you say. And I could read you. You could try to hide it if you want to, because see, I'm going to tell you something. Your body moves in ways that you cannot hide. Yeah, your mouth can say whatever you want to say. Boom, 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 boom. But guess what? Your body moves in ways that you just can't hide. You can't dress that up. You can cover it up all you want to, but you can't dress up how your body reacts, how it moves, and all that other stuff. Trust that. So when you thinking that you just outsmarting somebody, when you just said something and that person didn't respond, no, don't think you just got one of them on you. They just wasn't feeding into your BS. They was already hip. And you didn't even know it. That's crazy. You didn't even know it. So, again, for me, like I said, I'm just not into wasting my energy in places where I don't get a return at. It don't matter. It really don't matter. I'm not interested in putting my energy nowhere where it's not getting a return at. I'm telling you, because, hey, when it come down to investing in something, people don't see that. They don't see that long time, long haul. They don't see that. They want something for nothing. There's people that want something for nothing. And if they have to invest in it, I pass on that. Is it free? Oh yeah, come on then. If it's free, yeah. See, nah. I ain't moving like that right there, dude. Not moving like that. Hold on. You got people over here that's grieving and going through stuff and still have to figure out certain, and this stuff don't come with no handbook either, y'all. It don't come with no handbook. It don't come with no blueprint or nothing. This right here is a situation by situation kind of deal. This right here it's a household by household kind of deal on how you handle this stuff right here. The way that I've been going by doing it might not necessarily be the path for everybody else and how they go by doing it. You know what I'm saying? See, me, I didn't go through therapy. This is my therapy, y'all. This is my therapy. I didn't go through grief counseling and none of that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I just honestly felt like nobody would understand where I was coming from, to be honest with you. Because you will have to go through that. If you haven't been through it, you could feel, you as a parent that have not went through this, to a degree, you might feel like, you know what, I understand what you're talking about, but then you catch yourself and say, well, I understand, but I know I don't understand because I haven't lost one and this, that, and the other. But that's the closest that you could, those are the closest words that you could find to telling somebody that you feeling them. You understand they grief. You understand why they are in the condition that they're in. I get that right there. But I'm going to tell you something. Being in those shoes versus imagining that you're in those shoes, them right there, baby, them two different sizes right there. Them two different size shoes right there, baby. No talk, no stuff, real talk. You know what I'm saying? Those two different size shoes. You know, and I'm telling you, man, you could do good for a real good time. You gonna have some time where you gonna run a good stride in there. And when you having that good time, almost by the end of that good time, you gonna say, man, I wish Junior was here. Man, Junior would have loved that. Man, if I could have just took him there. And man, this, that, and the other. Man, I'm almost 11 months in. And I tell myself all the time, that if I had known, just at this point in time right here, what's today? Today is what, September 30th? Something like that. I think today the 30th. Man, just in this right here amount of time, from September 30th, you couldn't have told me that by November 21st, I would have been burying my son. My son would have been buried. Dead and gone. You would have not been able to tell me that right there, man. And it was like, I look back, that stuff right there still hit me in my head. I still hear the phone call with his mama telling me that Junior gone. I still hear that. I hear that every night that I go to sleep, and I hear it every morning that I wake up. You know what I'm saying? I hear that stuff. Like, I can hear that. You know what I'm saying? And you hear, when you first get the first glimpse of your child being gone, whoever told you that your child was gone, you gonna hear that voice forever. That's what it feel like, at least for me. It feel like whoever told me that right there, I can't get that out my head. Whoever told me that first person that called you and told you that, and however they were reacting when they told you that right there is a voice that you probably won't unhear. And you're going to hear that stuff day in, and you're going to hear it day out, and you cannot erase it. This ain't erasable. Nope. So when I'm going through stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and I'm maintaining it as well as I can. Shoot, hey, I don't want to go into nobody else's issues. It was at one point in time when this stuff right here happened, I wouldn't go out there and change the brake pads on my car. I didn't want to touch no tools. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't have the energy to do nothing. I keep telling people that when this stuff right here happens, dude, it take all your horsepower up out you. You ain't got no more horsepower in you at that point. All your cylinders, you probably down to one cylinder, if that one, and that bad boy's struggling. Him struggling. And so when you work all that power back up, and you start to look now with the new set of eyes after the passing, and you start to look at this pattern now, when you start to see these people come back, and these people are pulling, you could literally feel your energy pulling. That's your time right there to stop that right there, especially because you're going through something and you need all your energy. You ain't got time to be giving off your energy to try to giving off your energy is even entertaining the hearing, the listening process. The listening process. That's giving off your energy as well. Because you was probably listening to something, you was probably meditating. Then somebody called you and start telling you somebody else's business in a gossiping format. And you like, man, listen, look, let me call you back. See, you got to start doing that because you're going to have to start protecting your own energy. That's just the bottom line to it. I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to protect my own energy. Got to protect my own energy because ain't nobody else gonna do it. Ain't nobody else gonna do it. I was giving my energy away freely, willy-nilly, not even realizing it, just because of the type of person I was, man. And at this point, I felt, looking back at it, I feel taken advantage of, but it's at my own hands, so I'm gonna hold accountability on that. I gotta hold accountability for that because I didn't look for nothing in return, being too nice. In some cases, may even been naive. Hey, I contributed to my own suffering. I did. I contributed to my own suffering. And as a result, this, you lose your energy. And this right here is why I try to tell the ones that are going through this, don't do it. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking accountability for mine. I ain't even gonna fault nobody else for them taking advantage of an opportunity that I provided. I'm just saying what I'm telling y'all now, just to point out the energy, the effort, you know what I'm saying? The time, the resources. You see what I'm saying? Stuff that I can't get back. I poured it in without being able to get nothing back up out of it. I fixed up on houses, ain't got nothing back up out of it. I fixed up on cars, ain't got nothing back up out of it. Hey, I've poured into different relationships, you know what I'm saying, across the board. Ain't got nothing out of some of them. And when I say relationships, I'm not talking about intimate relationships with girlfriend and boyfriend and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about just a relationship with you and other people, period, across the board. And that does include the one that you sleep next to. Just not fully just exempt to her or him. But I'm talking about overall, the whole board. You look at these relationships that you done had with some of these people and see how much you done got out of that. See how much you done got out of it. And if you ain't got out of it what you feel like you should get out of it, how much more are you going to keep on investing in it? Are you going to keep on investing in that? You going to do it? Nobody in their right mind would. But unknowingly, when you're in a good place and you're doing this right here, you don't see that. You don't see that. That's what I'm saying. That's probably another reason why after I lost my son, I got sat down for a very long time. That kept me in a quiet spot for a long time. Yes. That kept me in a very quiet place for a very long time. And the only thing you can do is just think. And this right here stuff come up. This is what I was saying. Your return on your investment. ROI. Return on investment. What did you get out of that? And then when you see that you didn't get nothing out of that, guess what you're going to realize? You wasted a whole bunch of time. And it's like, oh my God. And guess what? That's your time is your most valuable asset that you have to your name. Is your time. I didn't have enough time with Junior. All that time and all that investment, I got absolutely nothing out of that. Nothing. In terms of my investment. Now, did I enjoy my son while he was here? Absolutely. And I used to say that all the time. I enjoy both my kids. I enjoy every single moment. And I used to say that while he was here. I used to say that. So yes, I did enjoy that moment. But for what I invested in that boy and what I was expecting as a return, that ain't happening. And so guess what? When that right there happened to my son, I said, anybody can get it at this point. It ain't no exemptions across the board. If this can happen to him, that is like, shoot, wait a minute. So for me, that scared the living daylights out of me because I still got other kids that I have to look at now and say, man, it could be any one of y'all. That's scary. That made me scared for my other kids. Not nervous. That made me scared for all the rest of my kids. After that happened with Junior, after I lost Junior, I start to look at all the rest of my other kids like, oh, shoot, it could be any one of y'all. Y'all ain't exempt. that's when it really hit you for real. Like, you really ain't nobody exempt from this. Nobody. You know? So, yeah, that's all I wanted to really say, you know, about this situation today, man. You know, hey, just like I said, some versions of me you just not gonna get back. That's just the bottom line to it. You're just not gonna get it back. You're just not gonna get it back, man. Cause, like I said, I done put in work. I done put in a lot of work. And like I said, at this age right here, 40 plus, I don't have it anymore. The work that I gotta put in gotta be on me. It gotta be on me. And anybody that I deal with, that work that's being put on me, it gotta be going in that same direction. It got to be going in that same direction. This right here is where your circle gonna get small at, because some of these people, they not where you at. You know what I'm saying? The type of work that you putting in, the people that your circle was, a lot of those people ain't putting in that kind of work that you got to put in. So this right here is gonna separate you from some of these relationships that I'm telling you about, whether that be your auntie, uncle, cousin, sibling, parent, you know, etc. It could be anything, anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because they not where you're at. And again, like I said, it's not going to be because you angry or anything. You just realize that they're on their path and you are on your path. Just the bottom line to it. So if you're dealing with anybody, or you know, in terms of any type of relationships or anything, if these people not on your path, on your script, like y'all ain't on that same journey, like they might be on their own journey, but it's taking the same lane as yours. Okay, well then we could probably work something out. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got somebody that you could lean on. You got some type of support or something somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Man, all this helping people and you ain't got no support behind you from the very people that you help. You know what I'm saying? Immediate support, man, that stuff is dead, bro. That stuff is dead. That stuff done. For real. That stuff done. Because you done poured into too many people. You done poured into too many people. And I guarantee you, look, the ones that you think that's supposed to stand up for you the tallest in times like this right here, is if you don't have the mindset to say, hey, listen, I'm not expecting nothing from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you do anything, it's a plus. If you don't, then hey, that's all good too, because you know you're not really if you expecting the people that you are hanging around with, the closest people in your circle, so-called circle, whatever, if you expecting all these people to show up for you in the time when you done lost a child, it's going to hurt your heart when they don't. It's going to mess you up when they don't show up for you like you thought they should. When they don't show up to your parent funeral because your parent done raised them since they was a kid. Or they know your parent from a little child or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Your parent mess around and pass off. They don't come to the service. Ooh, that's going to burn you up because you expected them to be there. Now, you mad that your parent gone, but they don't show up to the service. Same thing if it is with your child. It's certain people that sometimes you just expect them to you know the person's going to come through because you know, not that they owe you anything, but you just expect certain people to come through based upon what you feel your relationship is worth, is on. I still got people right now to this day telling me, yeah, well, I was going to give you a little time. You ain't came contacting me or nothing. But when I run into you, I will give you a little time, you know, because I know that you're a little down and, you know, I'm going to give you a little time. I know you need a little time. Oh, we didn't come over because, we know that you had a house full of company and we ain't want to, you know, we want to wait till the company died. I still got people 11 months later telling me that because they know they ain't reached out. They know that I was in a corner at times when they needed me the most. And then they know that now they haven't been in my corner as strong as they could have been. Yeah, let's just call a spade a spade. And now, all of a sudden, you're going to feel some type of guilt or something behind it. You're going to feel some type of way. You ain't reaching out. You ain't trying. You ain't trying to do that. And it's not that I'm begging nobody to. I'm just letting you know the type of stuff that you would go through in situations like this. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have friends and all type of stuff that you think that you would have got support from that you ain't see or hear or none of that stuff from. You're going to be like, wow. It's going to really open up your eyes to who's really here for you. I'm telling you. That's why I be trying to tell y'all when this stuff happen, pay attention to what's going on around you. Your child already gone. That child already gone. We know that. Now pay attention to what's going on with the people that's walking around here still. Because you got enough to deal with when it come down to your child. You already know about that. You already know about that part. You already know about your parent, your mother, your father, your grandparent, whoever it was that raised you, close nana. We know about that. Now watch the people around you. That's what I'm talking about. You watch the people that's around you. In and out your household. You watch everybody. And even with you saying that, there's still people that really don't get it. They don't get it. And you know what? It's not for them to get. It's not for them to get. It's for you to know, and it's not for them to get. Whenever it's for them to get, they'll get the message. And they're going to get the message in such a way to where it don't have to be re-explained. You don't have to go too deep down into thought to understand or to comprehend what's being said. Because as clear as I could say this right here, somebody still won't get the message. And somebody can come right behind me and say the same exact thing to the same exact person, and they'll get the message, meaning that it wasn't meant for me to give them that message. It was meant for whoever they accepted that message from to give them that message. When you learn that, you stop stressing yourself out trying to pound stuff in people's head. And you could tell people stuff so much to where they feel like, listen, what's the word I'm looking for? When it come down to, the people that like to push religion on you and stuff like that right there, you could sound so much to where you sound, and you see that it's not getting through to them. You know what I'm saying? Forcing, it can almost seem like you're forcing your thoughts and what you, man, listen, if you feel like you got it, this is one thing too that I learned too, pay attention to this. If you feel like you got to force your point across to somebody and you're steady getting resistance, stop. Because at that point, what you're doing is you're killing your own energy. You don't entertain that stuff no more. You're not there. That's one of the things that I was telling you about. I'm not there. So that right there is going to cut out a lot of this debating that people that know for me to do. I used to like to debate. Now I don't debate. I give you the information. If you don't want the information, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to let you believe what you want to believe. And I ain't going to say nothing else about it. I'm not about to go inside that mess. No, I'm not about to go back and forth with you no more. I'm not about to debate with you no more. That stuff pull your energy down. I'm not about to overtalk you, and I'm not about to be engaging in conversations where I'm being overtalked. I'm going to let you say your thing. See, back in the day, I used to give energy to stuff like that. People overtalk me, then I try to overtalk them, and then that used to be like a little fun thing in a debate going back and forth. But as you get a little older, you want to get your point across so you can have a meaningful debate where you can actually get ideas and solutions across outside of just being right and wrong. See, you got people out here that go back and forth with you just to have a back and forth with you. They will agree with you with your sentiment, but they'll just disagree just so you can go back and forth. And now when you're doing that right there, you lose the energy. What are you benefiting out of that? You're not benefiting nothing out of that. That's the reason why I say don't do it. I used to do that. I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of this right here. These people ain't trying to listen to what you talking about. They waiting for you. In some cases, they don't even have self-discipline to even shut up long enough for you to even get your whole thought out. Because they don't have discipline. Or you need to hurry up. I want to say something. I'm going to forget what you're saying, what I'm saying. See, if you doing all that type of stuff, then your point ain't important. You don't have a valid point. If you can't hold on a minute and a half, 2 minutes for me to get my thought out, because you're going to forget what you want to say, that's not an important thought then. But see, what you got to do, you got to stop participating in those type of activities. You trying to rebuild your energy. And you losing energy by participating in that. And you'll recognize that, because at this point, what you didn't recognize before, you now recognize since you done had this sit down with yourself. That's right. When you had this sit down with yourself, you realize that, wait a minute. It was like, it's like when you put on these glasses again. Once you put on these glasses, you start seeing that stuff a mile away. And then you think about it and you be like, man, look, is this what was happening the whole time? The answer to that is yes. That's exactly what was happening the whole time. That's exactly what was happening the whole time. You just didn't see it. You was a part of it. And you had to step yourself away from it in order for you to see what was going on. Because in many cases, you don't see what's going on because you're a part of it. You don't see it. And then when you pull yourself away from whatever it was, you look at it with a real set of eyes, you say, dang, I can't even believe, why did I even do that? Why was I even a part of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't believe it in some cases. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. No, okay, that's Uber. Okay. Somebody delivering something. But yeah, you can't even see that stuff sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But now, with the new set of eyes that you got, because you had to sit down, because you was thinking, and you was thinking, and you was thinking, Jack, you lost your child, baby. You can't tell me you wasn't thinking. Ain't not now soul. You can't have no soul if you telling me that you wasn't thinking about your child. When, man, please. And you was thinking hard. You was thinking hard. See, I'm going to tell you something. Another thing before I let y'all go, let me tell y'all something. It's people out here right now that have lost their only child. Hey, those people are not. Do you hear what I'm saying? Them people ain't okay. Them people are not okay. If you done lost your only child, man, them people, hey, they don't care. Look, them people will walk out in the middle of the street, and while traffic is coming, going against them, they don't care. These people do not care. They ready to go too at that point. They just here. And the only reason why I say that right there is based upon how I felt when I lost just one child. That couldn't have been my only child that I lost. That young like that, man. Man, do you know? Man, listen. Nah. People done lost their only child that young, just like that right there. They got to live through that. They just there. And I'm going to tell y'all something else too. Because I hear a lot of people ask this question, you know, we don't know what to say, we don't know what to do, and all this other stuff right here. When somebody done lost a child, a parent, or somebody close like that, let me tell you what you do. You go there with them. If you're going to be there for them, what you do is you go there, you be around them, and you shut up. You don't say nothing. That's how you do that. You speak to once you being spoken to. And you don't say nothing. If it's something that you want to do to keep yourself busy around the house, maybe you want to clean up their house, maybe you want to straighten stuff up, maybe you want to do, something like that, yeah. If you see them having a moment, you let them have a moment by themselves. Don't go over there interrupting them. Don't go rubbing their back. Don't go over there hugging them and all that other stuff, because you've been over there with them for the past couple days since this stuff happened. When everybody else went home, you would sleep on the couch over there. You know what I'm saying? You heard them crying in the bedroom at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? You heard them in the bathroom. So you know what they going through. And then when the next batch of company come over the next day, you know what I'm saying? That'll be the time for you to get a break. If you the one that's over there helping them, that's going to be your time for you to get a break when all the rest of the company come over. Because when all that company leave for the night, you know that you about to deal with this right here. And you can't say nothing. Ain't nothing you can say. Sometimes what you can say will probably make things worse than what they already going through. This is why you don't say nothing, because you in your mind, you might think that you saying something that can help, and it's not really helping. It's doing more harm than help. You ever had somebody try to give you a hand with a project or something, and they had good intentions? You know they had good intentions, but when they came to help you, it actually slowed you down. That right there is kind of like what this right here would be like. You know what I'm saying? So for y'all that want to know, well, what do we do to help? What do we do to help? If you want to help somebody and you want to, hey, ain't nothing wrong with calling and having a conversation. You can have a conversation about anything. But if you're going to be there physically, yeah, you be there and you don't say nothing. There you go. You don't say nothing, because I'm going to tell you, the person that you're talking to can't hear you. They cannot hear you. They cannot process what you are saying unless they the ones that pop the conversation back and forth. You got to know when to jump in and jump out. You got to know when to jump in and jump out. The last thing you want to do is go back and forth with somebody like that. You don't want to do that. When you see it's about to turn into a back and forth thing, you kind of like just bow out. Let them have it. Let them have it. You see what I'm saying? That's how you going to be there for somebody. You ain't going to be there for nobody talking about Jesus is Lord. And you ain't going to be there talking about, the Lord needed him more. And just we praying for you. And all that stuff right there, you missing the target every single time. Unless that's somebody that's heavily rooted in religion and stuff like that, for many times you gonna miss that target talking like that. That's the reason why I say you be quiet. You don't say nothing, because you talking about Jesus and God and religion and the all that other stuff and what Job had to go through and all this stuff that Job done lost. Because I done lost a lot. I done lost a lot. And you telling somebody to go read the book of Job. He lost everything. And that right there don't help the listening part at that time. Because reading anything is the last thing on your mind. You're not thinking about going to read no Bible. You ain't thinking about going to read the back of the potato chip bag. You ain't thinking about reading nothing. There's too much going on up here. And you can't hear nothing. Remember, I told you, I got a sound system in my truck that I know makes some neighbors come to the door mad. You know what I'm saying? I know. And no matter how loud I had that music up, I could not hear. I could not hear it. Because what was going on in my mind was much louder than the amount of volume that I could turn up in my stereo, on my stereo system in my truck. So I'm telling you, I know. I know. I know these things. And it's a ride though. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a ride. It's a ride. In another month and a half, we riding up on a year. A whole year. You couldn't have told me that last year that I wouldn't see my son for a whole year, man. A whole year. And I'm telling you, yeah, it still hurt. It still hurt that time. I tell y'all, man, when I be getting on here talking to y'all, man, it hurt to talk about it at times. You know what I'm saying? It just don't look like that to y'all. You know, sometimes it don't. You just come off. But I'm going to tell you another thing, too, that I've noticed. It's going to be some times where you might not even think about that person. And you would kind of feel guilty for not thinking about them. Maybe it's just me. Because there done been times where I try not to think about them. And you would go on for a stretch and realize that, wait a minute, you ain't thought about this person. And you, to a certain degree, it kind of like make you feel a little guilty about it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you need to forget, but you don't want to forget, but you have to forget, but you don't want to forget. That's that letting go part, I guess. That's the part that when people say it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go because you don't want to forget this person. But in order for you to move on, you're going to have to forget that person. And that's hard to do. That's difficult to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to forget them. You have to forget about their existence and everything, man. And what keeps that part around, is when you start looking at videos and pictures and stuff like that. That's going to keep their existence around, at least for you. Say, for instance, and I did this right here to myself. What I did was I tried to remember a lot of stuff within them 7 years. And I do remember a lot of stuff, but I don't remember everything. You see what I'm saying? So when I would see certain things on Facebook, you know, that I recorded previously, you know, years ago, I'd be like, man, I ain't seen this in a long time. You know, I haven't seen this right here in a long time. And now I got the memories of what was happening at that time. Like, wow. Now, when Facebook deleted all my videos, or the majority, a big end of my videos off their platform, for the videos that I probably could have went back and had memory sake on, they gone. And guess what? I can't miss them. It's kind of like if you got a whole bunch of stuff packed up that you done had in the closet. It done been in the closet for the past 3 years. You ain't went in there and grabbed nothing. It's like, okay, well, I don't really need nothing up out of here. Do I really need it? It was kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't, it's like you will get past that. You won't see those memories no more. It's the ones that you see that's hanging around and the ones that you got in your phone that's going to keep those memories around, because eventually your mind will clear itself, but you going to have to be the one to force yourself to remember that. You see what I'm saying? At least for me. Okay? You going to have to be the one to remember your child, because at some point in time, it goes away. It goes away to the point to where you're not really thinking about it at that moment, because you're in a moment of your own. And then you stop yourself in your moment of having fun at times, and then it'll hit you. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that right there is typically what happens at times. Oh boy. Yeah, it's hot in here. Thank you for the condolences. Was it Tynese? And that is one of the hardest parts, Angelique. Yeah, to have to forget. You have to forget that right there, man. As crazy, as sad as it sounds, yeah. You got to forget about, yeah, I got to forget about Junior, y'all. Can you hear that? In order for me to try to really move, you got to forget about that child. It ain't even about forgiving anything. How can you forget about your child, man? You got to forget about it. You have to forget about it. Like, forget about it. And, you know, I tell myself that stuff. For me, I tell myself that in the harshest way. I don't even try to sugarcoat it no more. I tell myself that stuff in the harshest way. Man, that boy dead. That boy gone. Ain't nothing else you're going to be able to do about it but hurt yourself from this point forward. This right here is what a guide tells me. You know what I'm saying? This is why I tell you, they don't care. The guys that would talk to your ancestors, whoever it is, Man, listen, at some point in time, that's how it came. Man, that boy gone. Just like that. Like, man, that boy gone. You might as well go ahead and move on. All this stuff that you're doing with yourself, all this crying and breaking yourself down. Look at what you're doing to yourself. Look at what you're doing. Just look at you. What you crying for? Why you ain't putting yourself together? You plan on staying like this forever? Huh, Ron? Jerome, you plan on staying like this forever? Why don't you pick yourself up? What's so hard about just doing what you need to do? Just do it. Ain't nobody holding yourself back right now but you. This is the stuff that you hear. This is stuff that I hear, you know. It kind of makes sense, but guess what? The spirit ain't for no pacifying of your feelings. This spirit right here ain't pacifying your feelings at all. I tell you the cold, raw truth. And if that's coming from you, or if somebody else would have said what I just said to you, you would be angry, you would be upset, you'd be ready to do something. Because you're still in your physical feelings. But in reality, that's really right, though, for real. It's really right. It's just hard to hear. It's a lot of that stuff that's going to be hard to hear that I've had to endure for months since my son been gone. I've been enduring some of this stuff. It was times like this last time I've been putting thoughts together. That's why I haven't been on live for the past couple days. I've been putting stuff, you know what I'm saying, together. So I haven't been on live in the past couple days, and I definitely ain't been on live this long in a long time. So yeah, I mean, I can go on and on and on, man. I had a whole week off. Y'all be on here the next 5 hours messing with me. But that's just what I wanted to talk about today, man. That's just what I wanted to talk about. That's all I wanted to talk about today. You being able to conserve your energy. Watch out for the energy draining parasites that come to you, because some of these people are just here just to drain your energy and nothing more. You know, yeah, I just wanted to see your reaction. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. And stuff like that. You just lost energy, whereas before you probably wasn't even thinking about that stuff, man. You probably wasn't even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? You probably wasn't even thinking about your energy being drained. You wasn't thinking about the BS. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been watching my energy, and like I said, if what you got going on ain't rocking toward my direction, I don't want no parts of it. Nope. Again, I don't have the energy for it no more. I don't have the energy to come to nobody's rescue. I ain't got the energy to help nobody move. I ain't got the energy to none of that stuff. Nah. Nope. The energy that I got is going to be put on me. I don't have energy to address nobody's attitude problems. That's the main thing right there. I'm not about to address your attitude problem. I ain't going to speak too many times. Listen, very short-winded. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Me losing Junior opened up my eyes to a whole lot of stuff. And it's still opening up my eyes to a lot of stuff. Trust me, I'm seeing more clear and more clear every day. And you know what I do when I get that information? You know how I do it? You know how I handle that information that I get when I get it? That's right. Shh. You don't say nothing. You just let it ride. You just let it ride. And you let it ride up until one day somebody gonna say something to you and you done let this stuff ride, and then you're gonna be like, listen, I don't have time for that right there. Yeah, I got gas. Yeah, I'm not doing nothing, but guess what? I just don't feel like doing it. How about that? I just don't feel like doing it. And see how that person react to you. I just don't feel like doing it. See how that person react. Say, death is nothing to play with. Well, let me tell you this right here. Angelique. When you do the work on yourself, you'll realize that there is no such thing as death. That's what I'm trying to, and I know that sounds crazy. But when you do the work, the answers that at least came to me, there is no such thing as death. Death only exists in the 3D realm. It only exists down here where the people, us, what we call human, the flesh, it only exists on that realm. But after that, there is no death. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the shedding of your body. Even at that point, we done been programmed for a very long time to believe that there is death and all this other stuff, when in all actuality, the body is just a shell. Your spirit didn't die, because that's what you're going off of. It's your spirit. That's what's running you, your soul. You know, so that part doesn't die. But going through the process of death, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so unnatural and it catches you off guard, like naturally you will fall into that the mode where you are grieving. You fall into a grieving mode. You know what I'm saying? On this end right here. But the more spiritual work that you do, the more work that you do spirit wise, you will realize that all this stuff down here is nothing more than an illusion. It's an illusion. This stuff don't work. This stuff is fake. Ain't nothing down here real. You know, I'm going to end on that right there because I don't want to get into that. I'll be here for another 2 hours with y'all, man, talking about that. But when you do the work on yourself, I'm telling y'all, when you do the work on yourself and listen to what's coming to you, not necessarily what you want to accept, because that's not what this right here is. You don't get a chance to block out what you don't want to hear. Just so, you know what I'm saying, just because you didn't agree with it. You got to listen to everything in its entirety and see what you get out of it. Like, you got to really look inside this stuff. And when you do that stuff for so long and you come back and you see that death ain't really a thing, like, it's not for real. It's really not, man. But the way that you feel, and you can't help the way that you feel in it, because you done been sunken so far down deep inside that thought process of, this person is dead and this person that, and it hurts. That's why I say that's one of the reasons why I say, you know, stay away from funerals, man. That's the reason. That's one of the biggest reasons why I say stay away from the funerals if you can help it, because it's the thought process that goes into you. You know what I'm saying? When you looking at the last moments, the closing of the coffin, them putting them in the ground and stuff like that. That's the stuff that stay with you. And it make it harder for you to regain your energy, because you're going to keep on getting flashbacks of that kind of stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're going to keep on getting flashbacks of your pallbearers and stuff coming down there, taking the coffin. You're going to get flashbacks of people putting your loved one and stuff like that in the hearse. You're going to get flashbacks of when the music got all loud and stuff like that. People start crying. Pay attention. You go to a funeral. Pay attention to what them organ players and stuff like that be doing when they be playing the music. You will notice sometime at some point in time it get quiet. People get to congregating and stuff like that. Then you'll hear the preacher or pastor, somebody go up there and grab the microphone. Amen. Amen. People still congregating. Amen. And then before you know it, the organs start picking up while the preacher or the pastor talking, the organ done picked up. You know what I'm saying? And then they done start playing some sad stuff. And then before you know it, Before you know it, you got everybody in there in tears. And I was watching that one time. I swear to God, I was watching that one time. I forgot whose funeral I was at, but I was watching that one time and I said, wait a minute. When he played this music, everybody in here started crying. But when that music died down and everything, you know, people could stop they weeping. You know what I'm saying? This right here is when I really started to pay attention to funerals. Now, this right here was before Junior. This right here was before Junior passed away. But that right there is the stuff that sticks with you. What happens at these services? You know what I'm saying? And you looking at your loved one for a long period of time, just staring at a dead body, just laying there, just staring. Like, what's the point in that? What is the point in that? You want to see somebody for the last time and that's the way you want to see them? That's why I said after my son passed, even though I didn't see him in that coffin, and I believe, like I said, I don't know if he was there, and he could have been there, but I believe it would have did something else different to me just to see him laying there in that coffin like that. That probably would have did something to me just to see him physically in that coffin like that right there. You know what I'm saying? So think about the energy that's in that room at that time of that service. Is that energy level up or is it down? You see? So now you got a group of people with low energy. You're a part of this right here now. And it make it just that much more harder for you to come up out your grieving process. You got too many low vibrational people around you. And it make it just that much more harder. Make it harder. You know, it make it harder for you to overcome that. That's why it's going to be certain people that they're going to come back. And maybe it's up to you whether you allow them. It's up to you to regulate on how much energy you allow the person that's going to come back to deal with you. Some of y'all may have had cousins or close friends that have not really been with you throughout this process, but at some point in time, you know, 9 months later, 10 months later, they're going to pop back up. And then when they pop back up, that's when you're going to see them for who they really were. You're going to see them for who they really were. But listen, I need y'all to do me a favor because when I be on here, this is another reason too why I'm about to just start. I'm done with my chit chat for today. I'm just saying this on my way out. I need y'all to start commenting, liking, sharing, you know, because the algorithm on here, it allowed me to reach out to more people if that right there happened. If you just right here looking at the video, you're not liking, you're not sharing, commenting and stuff like that, it don't get out to too many people. It make me feel like, you know, me trying to help people is not really helping. You know what I'm saying? For real. It's like I'm wasting my time again. So help me get the word out. You know, maybe it might help somebody, maybe it might not, but at least still help me get the word out. Share, comment, subscribe, and do the same thing over here on YouTube and my TikTok. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, Hey Uncle Ronnie. You know what I'm saying? Then my TikTok is $ Jerome C 06. That's my my name over there on TikTok. J_84, something like that. I don't know. I have to look at that. But anywho, you know, help me get this right here stuff out. It's hot in here now, so I gotta go. But yeah. Go over there and subscribe on YouTube. And I'll get with y'all later on.